Okay. Ooh. It's warm today. Well, it's warm here anyway. For us in the UK, it is warm. So, there we go. That is that. And, oh, blooming heck, they're chatting already, look. Who's here? Hello there, Missy Julie. Hello there, Missy Teresa. Hello there, Max. And hello there, Maureen. Oh, they're having a little chat amongst themselves. Hello there, the Victorian Edge. Or Victoria, I should say. Ah. Oh. I'm a sweaty Betty. Oh, one chair. Get in place. Waiting for me. Oh, I need to switch my lights on, don't I? That might help. Bear with. There we go. Won't make an ape of the difference now, but it will as time goes by. Oh, hello there, Anne. Yippee, I've made a live, she said. Have you never been on a live before with me, Anne? Now I'm readjusting my cushions on my chair. Oh, right. I'll just wait another couple of minutes and see if anybody else wants to join us. Yes, but a while back, she says. Okay. There's 20 of you watching, but not as many of you saying hello. Hello there, Suze. Oh, it's the first time you've ever been here as well. It won't be anything like the last one, Maureen. I'm not as awake. I'm sorry. I'm not as tired. Oh, blooming heck. I'm not as tired as I was last time. Margaret, watching while I prepare my buffalo steaks and potatoes for the barbecue. Very nice. Hi there, Sue. Hi, Marilyn. Seeking my crafty trap. Hello there. Hi, the posh maniac. Just going to call you posh from now on. Hi there, Deborah. Oh, first time for you as well. Hello and welcome, all our newbie, or first time that you've caught this live this year. Oh, you can't be a good cup of tea, can you? Oosh. Who's oosh, Maureen? You see, now they think that I'm the one that's going to be like all, it's going to be Maureen. Yeah, I thought she meant posh, but she put oosh. Maybe we ought to call posh oosh. Love the title to this video, Carol. Well, the thing is, someone put up a post on the Facebook group the other day. It might have been yesterday. And hi there, Jackie. And saying that she was in the middle of putting her signatures in and how fearful she was about doing it. And then there's like Maureen being one of them. Loads of people put underneath it, yeah, I'm me. So it seems that putting their signatures into a journal cover makes everyone go to jelly. So that's why I've called it Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Because if you want to make journals, you've got to do it anyway, haven't you? So at some point, you haven't got to. There are other ways, but you know. Jill, hello everyone. Glorious day here in Suffolk. And Carol as well. Joy. It's been lovely here today. Oh, Jackie's got burnt today. It's been so hot. The title was one of my dad's favourite expressions. Love it. Thank you, Max. I just see them in, and if they turn out weird, I redo it. That's probably the best you can hope for. Okay. So, for those of you that are new to the lives, maybe new to my channel, we are working at the moment on about 4 different journals. Woo! We're working on a trashy journal, our Womble journal, and so after I've completed all of these, I'll be going back to that. We're working on a British journal, and I'm working on 2 royal journals. Whew. Busy, busy, busy. So tonight I want to show you how I'm going to put these 2 signatures into this Reader's Digest book cover. All right, we've already covered the taking out of the book block and doing this paper across and stuff like that, and I am going to be putting new end papers in this, but it just helps to keep it all nice and neat and tidy. So tonight it's going to be putting these 2 in, and tomorrow night I'm going to show you how to put the 3 signatures into the other one. In fact, let me just get it and then so that's the 2 signature one. I'm going to move that cup of tea as well, haven't I, before I spill it. And this is the 3 signature one that I'm doing tomorrow. And this one's going to be the blooming neck, what do you call it? What do you call it? Oh, my mind's gone a blank. Floating spine. Anyway, this is going to be attached to fabric, and then the fabric's going to be attached to the cover, whereas this one, the signatures are going to be attached directly to the cover. All right, so both of these are royal journals. Hidden spine. Thank you, Max. Could not for the life of me think what it was. So these are because it is the Queen's Platinum Jubilee in June. And so we're getting a little bit of a head start. Hello there, Nikki. I'm getting our journals ready because it's already started here in the UK with the different magazines and books that are coming out. So those are all the things that you could go off and go and purchase if you so wanted, and start to add them to a journal. Rather than starting off a journal from scratch, we will already have ours made. Okay. What's that, Maureen? Think we will be hidden mods when she starts. Is it so you can present your no, Teresa. Madge is not getting getting her hands on my journals. She'll have enough presents being given to her. Love her to pieces, but she's not having me journals. That's all I'm saying. Right, so this one we'll be covering with the hidden spine. And you'll probably have to remind me again tomorrow night what it's called. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'm going to write it down, because the way my memory is at the moment. Yeah, exactly. She could follow us on YouTube and she could make her own. Hidden spine, Carol. Hidden spine. So as I say, come tomorrow. Tomorrow's another day. And I'll have probably forgotten what it's called by tomorrow. I mean, it's not like it's the first time I've ever done one, you know, but right, righty. So if you remember, or maybe you don't, in this particular cover, after we took the book block out, we put a piece of Tyvek on the back here. I have notes everywhere, but still forget. So we put a piece of Tyvek, not Tyvek, Tyvek on the spine to help to give it a little bit of support and strength because of us attaching the journals to the spine. We then use the end paper to go right the way across there to make it look nice and neat, but I will be covering those over anyway. Okay, now then, I'm not going to be looking at chat for a little while, so you'll have to talk amongst yourselves, and I'm going to apologise in advance because the last time I did a live, we had a bot come on and was spouting loads of sex stuff. Nothing I can do about it, but obviously the moderators know how to deal with it, and they will report and block them. So I'm afraid you just have to ignore them. Whilst we're carrying on with the live, they will still show, but once the live becomes a replay, you won't be able to see them. So yes, okay, so I'm just going to quickly show you the two signatures that I've made for this particular journal. Okay. Oh, and I've another apology to do. I beg your pardon. We will start in a minute. I was hoping to be on doing this live on either, Thursday or Friday. Thursday I spent most of the day in bed, absolutely shattered. And yesterday I spent the day cleaning this room out because it was a mess. It was an absolute mess on every single work surface and all over the floor and all on here. I couldn't even get to this part of the table to be able to film any videos. So it was like, right, I have to get this lot sorted out first. So that's what I ended up doing, and that's how come we're having the live tonight and tomorrow night. Okay. Right, signature. So these were papers that were in the digital kit that was available, and there was also a kit available as well. So there were some papers and pages in there. So I've got a book page here with a match again. This was from the lace kit. This was from the lace kit, and I'm going to make that into a little bit of a tuck spot pocket. This was the onion skin handmade paper. This was a piece of pearlescent paper, and I don't know whether you'll see the sheen on that in this light, but it's actually got sort of bits of gold in it as well, so it's really pretty. And I've punched the edge of the paper as well. This was from the lace kit again. I've printed it onto a piece of vellum, and once we start adding pictures and things, then it means that it will start to show through the vellum piece. Okay, there's some piece of the hand printed paper that I did on the wallpaper, which was the Techniques Tuesday video that I did the other week. So that's a piece of the grey mile mark paper. Two envelopes glued together to form one. Piece of the lace paper again. I've made a tag with a punched edge here. And there's a reason why I'm showing you all of this as well. Piece of parchment paper. Piece of the grey mile mark paper. A piece of the lace paper again, and this one I've actually fussy cut it out so that it sits over the edge of the page like so, and then that will be the center of the signature. So that side would be pretty much the same as what you've just seen. Okay, hang on, slurp of tea. Okay, this one. Oh, that's better. What I've done with this one again was I printed out the lace page. I fussy cut the edge, and I've attached it top and bottom to this piece of parchment paper, so that I've now got a big pocket here and I've got a big pocket here. Okay, got a piece of book page again, a piece from the Royal Digital Kit, piece of the onion skin paper again. This one is the grey Marmark paper, and I've just done a stitch. Let's have it that way around. I've just done a wavy stitch going all the way around, so again I don't know whether you will see that stitching. Okay, so that was just a straight stitch on there. This was a page again from the Royal Digital Kit, and I put it in lengthways and then folded the bottom edge up to form a pocket on the other side, a book page, and I've cut that edge out with my fancy scissors. This one is again, I've printed that lace page out on the vellum and backed it onto another one of the lace pages, but that was printed onto paper, and then I've done a fancy stitch across the top and across the bottom. So again, I've got these big huge pockets, piece of the onion skin, piece of the purple card with the tag with the punch. This one I've done, you probably see it better on this side, I've done 2 rows of the stitching, wiggly wiggly stitching. Some more of the wallpaper printed paper, a punched edge piece of that paper that's that sort of gold pearlescent paper, and then I've got one of the envelopes in here, and there's the flap of the envelope, so I'm actually going to put it in upside down. All right, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off that top. In fact, let's do it now. Get your squizzers, Carol. I'm going to trim off the top, or the bottom of the envelope in this instance, but what will come the top. So I'll end up having 2 pockets here, and then this envelope flap. Let's get the glue. How do you get your wiggly stitching to look so purposeful? Mine just looks messy. Probably the best thing to do is have some alcohol. I'll be all like, wee! Be a bit like that. I haven't had any alcohol, by the way, because I don't drink, but I just go dee 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 dee. It's just like that. It's like that, Max. It's the nearest to a workout I get as well. Okay, so I've now got a little tuck spot here, a little tuck spot here, and then we'll end up, by the time this is stitched in, we'll have a little pocket there and a little pocket there. Okay. Yeah, you see, some people just do it naturally because they can't sew a straight line. Okay, so why have I shown you? This is a rhetorical question, by the way. Why have I shown you how I've got my pages sorted out in my signature? Sorry, I'm just reaching for my cup of tea again. Brenda, hi, Carol, still in Spain, missing my craft room. Yeah, but you're in Spain, Brenda, having your feet, getting a big few rays on your body. Oh, lovely. So, The reason why I've told you what I've put in my signatures is I want you to see that there's all sorts of varying sizes and shapes. So those need to be taken into consideration when we start to punch the holes and start to sew the signature in. Okay, now I am going to talk to you as though you know nothing, so I don't want you to think I'm insulting your intelligence, because I'm not intending to, but I need to talk to you as though you know nothing, so then I know that we all know the same information. Okay, sometimes when I do a signature, I start to put a few pockets in and I start to put a few journaling cards in so I can get a feel of how the journal is going to look. In this instance, I haven't done that. But at this point, that is when you take out all your little note cards and your tags that you've put in so that you get to sort of get that feeling of what it looks like. You need to take all of those out. And what I do is I go through, I take them out and I make a pile at the side and I sit one on top of the other, on top of the other, on top of the other. So that when it comes to putting them back in, they're all in the correct order. So I know exactly where they need to be, or I've got a rough idea of where they need to be when I want to put them back into the journal. Okay, does that make sense? Hi there, Kim. Never mind. Not to worry, you're here. That's the main thing. So it's lovely to see you. So I'm hoping that that makes sense for everyone. There's a little delay, so I'm just going to have to wait for you to respond. Perfect sense. Good. Good, good, good. Okay, now the next thing you're going to need are paper clips. We'll get a fair few out. And or some bulldog clips. Or them clips. Okay, so bulldog clips and yeah, whatever they're called. Okay, so use what you have. And what we're going to do, and I've reached the point now where I don't need to do this, but I think that if you're nervous or if you're inexperienced at sewing a signature in, it is a wise move to do this. Until you feel comfortable, until you've built up your confidence, this is a wise thing to do. Okay, so most of the pages are the correct size, but it's the smaller ones. You might find your clothespins a bit too bulky for this bit, Teresa, but we'll see how we go. All the smaller pages, you don't want them moving about. So like here, there's a smaller page here, and I don't want that to suddenly slip down to the bottom. I want it in the middle for diddle. Okay, hi there, Jill. So I'm just going to hold on to that, and look, I've got another page that's also, oh, it's moved anyway. I've got double crease in there now. Come out there as you were. Thank you. All right, so I could, I'm going to lift this up so that you can see. I could clip those 3 pages together by putting a paper clip in, top and bottom, and also on the back side as well, to make sure that those don't move. Okay, we're going to do overkill with the paper clips. Okay, next one. So then we've got a full page, then we've got a half page. So what I'm going to do here, and when I've got that little page there, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take that out, make sure everything's in the right place, and I'm going to clip all of those together. So again, they're in the correct place and they're not going to shift. And I started, if you saw, putting the paper clips in the middle. I'm now sort of working my way out from the middle a little bit to get them to stay in place. And I'm also keeping the papers angled. All right, so I'm keeping them angled like this. Mine aren't flat. You have a choice. You either do them completely flat, all of them, or you keep them angled like this. So it's about keeping the continuity of that up. Okay, so that's those all now in place. So the next one is a full page, and then we've got the little half page and we've got the tag. So let me just think about where I want that paper. Do I want it near the bottom? Do I want it near the top? Do I want it in the middle? So I'm going to put mine in the middle, and I want the tag in the middle as well. So if I position that tag where I want it, then position that paper on top where I want it. And this time I'm going to paper clip from this side. Okay, so I'm going to paper clip all those three together from here. I want the paper clip the other way around. There we go. Right, so that's, just push that to one side a minute. So that's those three now in place, and then I'm going to flip it over and do the same on the other side. I'm going to paper clip it from the end. Now the reason why I'm paper clipping it from the end here is that the paper clip won't reach all the way down to hold that paper and that tag in place. Right, so that's that one now clipped in place. And then on this one, I've got these two little pages, a full page and an envelope. Make sure my envelope's in the right way, up the way that I want it. So again, work out where I want them to be, and then I need to paper clip them in place. Now I've got a slight problem here because I've got a very delicate edge here. So I don't really want to put a paper clip on there, because it also probably wouldn't reach that envelope and hold it in place very well. Okay, but the paper clip will reach these papers here. So I'm going to put a paper clip on there, and I'm going to put one on there. So as you can see, paper clip overkill. All right. Now what I'm going to do with this envelope is I'm going to use some which one should I use? Let's use that one, because I've only got a bit of this one left. So I'm just going to use some washi tape, and I'm just going to put some washi tape to hold it in place, because we all know that washi tape is rubbish and it doesn't stick. There you go, look, it's the last of the washi tape. Right, so that's that. So I've gone through and I've made sure that all my little pieces are all held in place with either washi tape or paper clips. Okay, so now we want to put it together as a signature and line up all those big pages. Put that one down a little bit. There we go. And from the center, see, look, that washi tape's not even holding that envelope down. From the center, I'm going to put a big clip on it, and then put those clips down, making sure that that is pushed into the center there. Now look, see, rubbish washi tape. I'll have to get another one out. So remember, I'm either doing it angled or I'm doing it flat. And in this instance, I'm doing it angled. Okay. So I'm going to get some more washi tape out, because that was Really pants. Ants in your pants rubbish. Okay, let's try that up. It might be because it's pearlescent that it's not holding it down. I might have to get some oh, get me favourite out. Get me micropore out, look. But I've got to be careful with this because it can be a little bit sticky and not pull off very easily. So I'm only going to put it on lightly. Okay, so that's now got that in place. So that's the first signature all done. Okay. Anyone got any questions so far? Oh. Which is best, flat or angled? I invariably do angled, Julie. I very, very rarely do flat because the problem with flat is lining up that centre line because it's difficult to see when you've laid one paper on top of the other. At least if it's angled, you can see that you've got it right the way into the centre. Now, some people might think that this is too fussy a way to put it together. But as I say, if you're not very confident and you're still not very well practiced at it, it might be easier for you to do it this way until you build up your confidence. Okay. I'm also going to put a big clip on the bottom as well. Just hold the bottom in place too. Okay. Now then, next one. Let's do this one. So that's not a full page, but I know that it's going to go there. That's not a full page, but I know that that's going to go there. But there's a full page here, and then there's all these little half pages. So I could either clip them all together, or I could do this section first and then that section next, which is what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to pull that out. Get rid of that little goober. Goober. Okay, and start near the center and just clip those together. Okay. Then we've got 1, 2, 3. That again, I don't want to put the clip that way to hold all 3 in because of this decorative edge. So I'm definitely going to put one at the bottom because I want this one lower down. And I won't be able to reach it with a paper clip from the top. Okay. But I'm still going to put one at the top to hold that purple onion skin in place. Okay. Flip it over and I'm going to do the same on the other side. And sometimes the papers are really thin and can move as well. So again, you just want to make sure that they're held in place. Okay, and then I'm going to pop that inside of that part. So that's that bit done. Hello there. Oh God, can I say that? Calilibris, I think. Something like that anyway. Hello to everyone else that's just arrived as well. It's lovely to see you all here. Okay, now then. Really, if I'd had a look, that page could have been clipped to this as well. So I'm going to be cheeky. I'm going to take that off and I'm going to slip that underneath those paper clips. Make sure that I've got it in the right place. I'm going to take them off. Put that one on top. Just bear with me 1 minute. Something I forgot to do. There we go. All right. So at the moment I've got it in 2 sections. So I know I've got these 2 and I don't want them down the bottom. I need to make sure that they're lined up. I want them in the middle. I want them there. And then I've got this envelope here. So I take that apart, slide that along. I keep picking up these ones that are all attached. Look, let's move you guys out the way. And then again, I'm going to come in from the side. Oh, it's the envelope completely. All right, make sure that's in the right place. I'm going to do the same on the other side. I want a long part of the paper clip to hold on to those pages. There we go. All right, so that's the next section done. Okay, so now we've got the awkward 1, 2. So put them in the right place. Put a clip on the edge there. And a clip on the edge there. So can you see now, Teresa, why I said that your pegs probably wouldn't work? They would just be too bulky. But, you know, if you're clipping everything together all in one go, then you don't need to do this with all the individual little paper clips. Okay. So peg that one there at the top. And there. So everything's all nicely encased there. Open that middle one up. And now I can put all of those individual little pieces together. Make sure that they meet nicely in that point. And then I'm just going to clip those all together in one go. And I'm also going to put a couple of clips at the bottom. To just hold them all together. The thing is, you make each journal look differently. So whilst this is suitable for some, it's not suitable for all, but it is a good rule of thumb of how to put a signature in a journal. Okay, we'll put those to one side for a minute, because next I need to work out what sort of stitching I'm going to use. Hi there, Terry. And how many stitches I am going to use. Okay, I spilled a whole mug of coffee over your Womble journal. Well, that's all right, Jackie. That just adds to the colour of it. Oh dear. Okay, which way around am I having it? Am I having it that way or that way? I've forgotten. That's the first signature. That's the second signature. Okay, so now I need to work out about the stitching. And using this as the example, this is a good way of having a look at it. If I make it just a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, okay, so it means I'd have a hole at the top, a hole at the bottom, and a hole in the middle. It means that, you know, that tag that's earlier on, it means that that tag and this envelope are really only going to be held together with just one stitch. Excuse me. So if you've got lots of little things in here that you want holding in place, you might want to put a 5-hole pamphlet stitch in. Okay, so that would be one at the top, one at the bottom, one in the middle, and one between the one at the top and the one in the middle. So that would probably be just at the top of this envelope, and again one just at the bottom of this envelope. So then you've got 1, 2, 3 stitches holding that tag or any other little pieces in place. And again, if you've got extra papers where you've got some at the top and some at the bottom, the 5-hole pamphlet stitch will help to hold all of that in place. All right, if you do just 3, you might not catch everything. Okay, now we know that our signature is slightly smaller than our cover itself. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to work out the position of the stitches here on the signature first. Okay, so ruler's there, giving it a new home. Put them to the side. Now if you wanted to, you could measure. You could also have, which way around am I going? That way. You could also have one of those Tim Holtz rulers that measures from the center out and all the rest of it. You could just eyeball it. I tend to eyeball it because that's just me, because I'm lazy. But you could measure it out if you wanted to. All right. And you tend to go round about 1/2 inch in from the bottom, 1/2 inch ish. Right, there's no exact science to this. So some might say 1 inch in, some might say 1/2 inch in. You need to do what you feel's best for you. Okay, because it will also depend on the size of the journal that you're doing it as well. Okay, then you could do 1 in the middle, and again, if you wanted to measure and find out where the center is, by all means measure and mark where the center is, and then 1 each side. So I already know that I'm doing 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom, 1 at the top and bottom of the envelope, and 1 in the center. All right, so I'm not going to measure, and I'm going to need a diddly-do. It could be, where's my boards going? There. There we go. It could just be a needle that you use. Okay, but if you have one of these, it's a bit handy. What you need to remember though is that here at the tip it's very narrow, and it gets wider and wider the further you go down. So it means the further you push this in, the bigger your hole is going to be. So you just need to make sure that you don't push it too far down and make a massive, massive hole. We want it big enough that the needle will go through, but we don't want it too big because then all your papers start. I always throw caution to the wind, Max. Also, if you can have a piece of foam or use a book, open up a book and sit it inside the book, it's better, protects your fingers. So this is the only bit where I don't tend to throw caution to the wind. All right. So as you can see, this is angled. All right. You could even have a book cradle and do it with a book cradle. So I'm going to punch one in the middle. There you go. And then we're just going to go straight down. All right. Woo, I've done it now. Let's make sure I've come out the other end. I have. Woo. I'm going to do one at the top. That's actually, I've done that less than half an inch. I've probably done that about a quarter of an inch. But not to worry. Okay, so there's 3. And then I'm going to do one that's going to be halfway between those 2 points. So probably about-ish there. 1 and 2. It's not scary, Maureen. It's only scary because you think it's scary. If you don't think of it as being scary, it's fine. And because it was angled, they've all come out as near as damn it is to swearing on that spine bit. Now again, if you've got this sat in a cradle or resting it in a book, you are more likely to push through from there to the spine here on where the crease is. All right. So that's that one done. We're now going to do this one. Now I've got nothing to guide me here. Now if I'd measured this, I would already have these measurements and I could measure the same measurements on there. But again, I'm just going to eyeball it. So I know that I want one in the middle. So I've got no envelope to guide me this time. But even I can see roughly where the middle is. And I'm going to go down there. I'm going to do about quarter to half an inch from the top. Oh, someone's going. See you later, Pat. See you later, Guider. Okay, and again, same at the bottom. And then halfway between those 2 points. The thing is, it's like anything in life, you know. If you go in with confidence, thank you, Pat. If you go in with confidence, there's nothing to it. It's when you feel all scary and jiggly about it that you tend to do it wrong because your fear takes over. So feel the fear and do it anyway. So I've got my 5 holes in there now, and I've got them here on the spine. That one's off a little, but it's fine. You know, I'm not going to cry over it because, again, at the end of the day, it's only paper. All right. So that's those 2 done. The next thing I want to do is work out where on my spine I want these to go. I go in with confidence, very confident it will be wonky. Well, therefore it will go wrong then. Because if that's the mindset that you're going in with, it will. The last time I made a journal, I daringly used an electric drill with the narrowest drill bit. It did a terrific job. You see, you all find your own way of doing it in the end, but it's just having the confidence to be able to do it. And if you, as I say, if you go in with the mindset that it's going to be wrong, then it will end up being wrong. Right. Now I'm just going to do this on a piece of paper, just so that you can see what it is that I'm doing. So let me just get a piece of paper. Bear with. Where to put my tea? Okay, it's my cup of tea. We're going to do templates tomorrow night, Jackie. So if you watch tomorrow night, you'll find out all about the templates. But I'm going to do a little bit of a template now. All right. So I know that squizzers. So I'm just going to cut off a strip of paper here. And this strip of paper is the same height, thereabouts, where I'm going to be putting my signature. Okay, so it's a little bit taller than that yellow paper, but it's not quite as long as the actual book cover. And what I'm going to do, maybe sit better on the other one, maybe, yeah. So I'm just going to sit my signature on there. And with a pencil, a nice sharp pencil, I'm just going to mark on the edge where that hole is and where the next hole is and where the next hole is and the next one and the next one. Okay, so that's for was that the first signature? Yeah, so that's for signature number 1, because I might have put them in a slightly different place on this signature here. All right, so for signature 1, that's where that's going to be. And then I can do the same with this one, but on the other side. And there. There. Where's that hole? There. Okay, and that's for signature 2. Now, as I say, I am going to cover doing templates tomorrow night. Thank you very much, Terry. That's very kind of you. So we've got the position of where they want to go vertically. We've got the spacing for those, but which ways do we want it to go? Well, one nice way of being able to tell, one easy way I should say, not necessarily nice, is if we stand the signatures up and put them in the cover and look at it from the top, you can kind of see where they sit next to the spine. The clips are getting in the way a little bit. I maybe should have done this bit before I did the clips, but you can kind of see where the signatures are sitting. All right, so I can see that one of the signatures is sitting there. The other signature's gone a little bit skew-if because the cover's gone a bit skew-if and the clips are getting in the way. But if I mark it there and mark there, okay, then I've got the positioning for the vertical part of it. You could mark down at the bottom as well, but again, I'm just going to eyeball it, and I'm going to draw a faint line down, and I'm going to do the same again on to the side. Okay, so that's kind of the positioning of where my signatures are going to sit. And I've left, if I bring this up closer, you can see, and I've left enough space between that signature and the edge where it folds here, and that signature and the edge where it folds here. All right, so there's enough space. If I was doing 3, I would mark the center point just without the signature in place, and then put the 3 signatures in like I've just done with the 2 and see where all 3 of them sit. You know that the center one, you've already marked that off, is going to go down that center point, and then 1 and 2 will be either side of that, but you'll get an idea for the distance. All right. So we know that signature number 1, if I line this up, I'm going to have a hole here. Hang on, let me just move that down a little bit. Didn't quite get that in the right place. So I'm going to get a hole here, a hole here, a hole there, a hole there, and a hole there. Okay, and then I can get signature number 1. Just line it up with those holes and make sure that it's all in the right place, and it is. Okay. Has anyone else stopped breathing? Okay, so this one was for signature 2, so I'm going to place that there, line that piece of paper up, and I know that I want a hole there, a hole there, a hole there, and there, and there. Now you can tell, look, because I just punched the holes in them signatures without any kind of measurement, can you see, look how they're differing, the positioning of them? But that's because I didn't measure. If you measured, they would probably all line up. Now, I'm not bothered about them being higgledy-piggledy, even though the stitching is going to show on this side. I'm not bothered about them being higgledy-piggledy because I'm going to cover that spine over. If you were doing it where you wanted your stitches on this side to be all perfectly neat, then you would need to measure exactly where those holes are going to go and do them in the same position on each signature that you're punching your holes into. All right, but because I'm going to cover them over, I'm not worried about that bit. So get my bit of foam back out, and I know that I want a hole there. I want a hole there, and I'm just punching straight through the spine, and then I want one there, one there, one there, one there. So now I've got my holes on this side, but what I'm going to do is I'm now going to go through those holes from this side, because what happens is, because of the way in which you're punching it, it forces all the fabric and all the card out to this side. So if I go in from that end, it should, or it might do, it might not. No, it's not. It's not pushing it back in. Sometimes it pushes it back in to go the other way, and it's not. So in fact, I think I missed a hole, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Didn't do that one there. Didn't tell me, did you? Right, so that's my holes in my spine done. That's my holes in my signature done. And as I say, I've not measured, and that's why they're not equal. And the other thing is that I will go through talking about templates with you tomorrow night, and you'll see why I'm covering it tomorrow night. Okay, so that was my first signature, that was my second one. So let's put the second one to one side for a minute and get myself a needle and thread. So we want a needle that is big enough to go through the signature and all the holes, but not so thick that it's going to make the holes bigger. And because I'm doing 5 holes, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just to be on the safe side. Now this is already a pre-waxed thread, but if it wasn't, I would cut my thread and then I'd run it through a piece of beeswax. Mind your beeswax. Do you remember saying that at school? Mind your beeswax. What you up to? Mind your beeswax. Don't know what that was all about. There you go. What wise best to place pockets and tags in the journal book before? Right, if you want, yeah, you're going to have to watch from the beginning because it becomes too complicated for me to explain at this point. What and why is best to place the pockets and tags in? I sometimes partially decorate and I partially put my tags and note cards in place so that I can get a feel of what it looks like. But when it comes to making the journal up, I take them all out. All the loose things I take out. Okay, so normally with 5 hole pamphlet stitch, you start in the center and you work one way, then you work back to the middle, and then you work the other way, and then you work your way back to the middle. I'm going to, what am I going to do with mine? Yeah, let's do it the traditional way. And I might show you the other way that I normally do in tomorrow night's video. So we start in the center and I'm going to go through that hole. Now, the way in which we put the needle through is going to make a lot of difference. This is angled, so it means that you've got to go through either dead straight, going straight down. If you try and go in at an angle like this, it won't work. So you've got to go straight down, right? And then pull it through. And leave yourself a tail. And then put it through that center hole there. And pull it in. Now I'm not pulling anything tight at this point because I might want to maneuver the signature a little bit. Let me move that out of the way. Okay, so we've gone through the center. I'm going to come out here and I'm going to go up that second hole. So my needle's through here. And then I'm going to find that hole on my signature. And again, put it through. Okay, so I haven't pulled my needle and thread through yet, but I can see that it's gone right the way through to the other part. This is where this is where 19 signature. Do you want to try that one again, Maureen? Okay, and pull it through. And again, I'm still not pulling it tight at this point. So I can still see the stitches and the signature. And then I'm going to go through the top bit. And again, remember the angle because it's all angled. Hang on, I'm going to have to turn this to suit me. Hang on a minute. Okay. So I've gone through that top hole and I'm going to go through that top hole and pull it through. Again, I'm still not pulling all my stitches tight at this point. I'm pulling them in a little bit, but I'm not pulling them in loads. Okay. Just pull that one through a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to go back down into that second hill. And to make sure that as I'm going through that hole there, I'm not going through the thread. And this is where it can be fiddly, is the going back through the hole. Yeah, see, it's not wanting to play, which is typical. There we go. So it's all about that angle again. You've just got to take your time and make sure that you've got the angle right. So just take your time with it. You know, it's not something that you can rush this. It does take a little bit of patience. And now, because I've started coming back down, I'm just going to tighten those threads up, because otherwise I've got a long way to start to pull them through. There we go. So now, as I say, I want to start to get them a little bit tighter at this point. Then I'm just going to push this thread out of the way so that I can pop it through that middle hole again. Again, be aware of that angle. This is hard doing this actually on camera. Because you just twiddle and turn it to suit yourself. There we go. So I've just come through the signature. I don't know whether you can see my needle there. Going through that middle hole. And pull it through. Go down to the next one. And again. Oh, blimey, I can't see it. Where's it gone? There. I think it's there. Hang on. I can't see the hole. Pop that back through there. There it is. Okay. Through that second hole. Through that hole there. Come out there. Sorted. Starting to pull it in tighter now. Now down to that last hole. Oh, and I've already gone through the signature. There we go. And through the cover. Okay, start to pull it in a little bit. This one's still loose at the moment because that was the first stitch, so I know that the thread is on the inside loose. So now I'm going to go through there. Make sure that I don't pierce the thread. Make sure that I'm going all the way through. Yep. Yeah, and if you get it wrong, you get it wrong. Just unclip it and start all over again. Do you know what I haven't checked? I haven't checked to see if I've put this in the right way up for the cover. Whoopsie. Okay. So I'm now back to that center point, but I don't need to go down any more holes there. So I need to attach it to this thread. Right, so I'm now going to pull in this middle thread so that hopefully it makes it all nice and tight. I'm going to pull on this bottom thread, and I have a feeling that I've pierced the thread, but never mind. Okay, and then I'm going to slip it underneath that stitch there. Okay, so I'm actually slipping it underneath that stitch there, so it anchors it now in the middle, and then I can tie those off. So I've done a single knot, and then I like to do a double knot. So I'm going to go through that loop once, twice, 3 times later. No, I'm only going to go through twice. Once and twice, and then pull. So now I've got a big double knot there. And then snip it off. Woo! We've got one in place. Right, so that's my first signature in place. When I think I might have I? I think I might have put it the right way up as well. Well, that was more luck than judgment, because I didn't check. Now, that's now in place. But what we can do is we can take this outer clip off here. Take that clip off there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clip them to the front side of the book. So now that's just holding them out of the way whilst I work on this other signature. Okay, so now I've pushed that out of the way. I don't want to force it to enlarge the holes, rip the paper. I just want to move it out of the way so that it's not going to keep flopping and getting in my road. Like, lots of swearing going on otherwise. Okay, so let me get some more thread. Is everybody with me so far? Another slip of tape. Makes me laugh with you a lot, being all like, oh my God, I can't breathe. Oh my God. Can't start breathing yet, girls. You are funny. Okay. Thread. As I say, it's just one of those procedures that you just have to take your time with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 was too long, but better to be safe than sorry. Scissors don't want to cut. I've lost my needle now. Where did that little blighter go? Oh, it's there. All right. I'm going to sing again now. And we start all over again. Okay, second signature. And just check which way up this one is meant to be, because it's invariably the second or the third signature that you get the wrong way around. Yeah, you can use dental floss because that is a wax thread. So we know that that's going to sit in there. All right. So here we go. So I'm going to go through the centre. In fact, what I might do is I'm just going to re-poke these holes because the fibre is just closed up just a little bit. And I just want to redefine those holes a little bit. And that one. And that one. Okay. Through the centre. Through the centre hole of the spine. And leave that little tail. Up to the second one. And through that second one. Again, just making sure of the angle. See, I'm not pushing the needle through, I'm trying to find the angle to find the hole. So there we go. And through that top one and find that top hole. And then back through that second hole and back through that second hole there, minding not to pierce the thread, but sometimes you can't avoid it. This one's going to be a pain. I can see it coming. Come on. Come play nicely. Yeah, it's because this is serious work, this Marilyn. It takes concentration. Can't laugh and joke during this bit because this is serious stuff. Getting your signatures in. This is the bit that everyone finds ultra scary. So we're just doing a little bit of consecrating. Okay, let's pull in those threads in because I can see I've got a little bit of a loop just down there. I just want to pull them in. Make sure I'm nice and tight there. Okay. Pull that middle one to one side. Plus the fact I was just playing the other day, whereas I'm actually doing the serious stuff of putting the signatures in. So there's a big difference between having a play and doing the serious stuff. Okay, I think I've pierced the thread. There's maybe not a lot I can do about that. Let's just pull that to one side again. And everyone's holding their breath. Marilyn, that's the other thing. So through that middle bit. Yeah, if you want to ask me questions, I'll ask you if you've got any questions in a bit. But just whilst I'm concentrating on this bit, don't ask me any questions. Because I'm not looking at chat. I just happened to glance and saw Julie saying something about it. This one's not playing. Come on. Through the middle. I've pierced the thread. I don't want it to do that. Move out the way. See, it's always the second and the third one that are the more tricky. Because you haven't got the flexibility. There we go. Phew. That you have when it's only one signature that you're dealing with. Pull that in. There we go. It's like doing a workout, this. Through the bottom hole. Through that hole. Pull that in. Through that last hole. And we're on the home stretch, girls. We're on the home stretch. Pull that in. Pull that one. Through that one. pull them in nice and tight. Wrap that thread underneath that thread there. Ow! Stabbed myself. Oh, don't get blood on your pages, Carol. Oh, all right. Oh, I did. Oh! I bloodied in my book. Get that off in a bit. Put some micropore on there. See, another reason why you need to have micropore. Oh, crack mines, Julie. Okay, that'll just protect me a little bit. I've just got a tiny little bit of blood on there, but I'll use a baby wipe maybe, or a cotton bud. Just get that off. You can own a bit of my DNA. Okay, form the loop again and go through once, twice, and then pull it in. And there we go. That's our 2 signatures now stitched in place. Right, so that has taken me roughly an hour with explaining how to put that together. Right, so it's going to take you some time. Don't think it's something that you're just going to put together in 5 minutes, because it doesn't happen. Right, so now I'm going to start to unclip everything, and then I'm going to show you a couple more things before I call this done. So take that clip off, and that clip off, and that clip, and that clip, and that one, and that one, and that one, and that one. Okay, and now I can start to go through the pages and start to take out all of these paper clips, and also get the first look at how it's kind of looking. Take that bit of micropore off there. Off there. Take that one off. Then and as you can see that just having those extra paper clips on just helps to hold everything in place whilst you're creating the journal. Sometimes the paper clips can leave a little bit of an indentation. So like I've got a little indentation there. So I would just get my my little iron out, put some paper on top and just give that a little bit of a press. Right, so has anyone got any questions so far whilst I take the rest of these paper clips out? As I say, we haven't finished yet. So it might be something that I'm about to show you in a moment. But it's about putting in the signature. There we go. So that's my 2 signatures now in place. All right. So very nice. Trying to duplicate pages on my own. Couldn't get the kit. Ask if she wants to buy a homemade journal. Sturdy. Wow, you made a beautiful book. Thank you very much. Jackie's put love that paper. Maureen, I'm sure it will be lovely posh. Teresa, maybe the salesperson will or she will leave Marilyn alone. I don't know what that one's all going on about, so I'll have to catch up on that later. You actually see they don't match on the back. Yeah, but as I say, I'm covering that over, so I'm not worried. Okay, so I'm going to come on to that in a bit. Okay, no questions, it seems. Oh, you can't see. I can see. Put it that way. So you can see that they don't match up. Look. But, you know, considering I only did it by eye. So, as I say, Kim and everyone else, it's just a case of taking it step by step and not rushing it, you know. Start on smaller books to build up your confidence again. Exactly, Julie. A blind man on a galloping horse would be pleased to see it. I said that before, and some American ladies said, never heard that before. Okay, so we've got end papers to put in, and there's something that I want to address here. Because I've got quite a wide spine and I've only put 2 signatures in, I've got a space here. Not only have I got a space, but I can see the holes where I've stitched my signatures in. Okay. Oh, Sharida has a question. Hi, thank you. If I have more than 2 signatures, which order should I sew them in? That's up to you. You could go middle, left, right, or you can go left, middle, right. It's about which you prefer to do. If you've got the one in the middle, you've got to push it out the way that way to get the first one in, and then you've got to push it out that way to get the third one in. If you do this one first, then you know that, as you've just seen, you can push that to one side and then work on the next one and then push that to one side and then do the third one. There isn't an easiest. It's fiddly, whichever way around you do it. So there isn't an easiest. But what you could do is, as I say, is just get a single sheet of paper 3 times, fold it and fold it in half, and do that with 3 individual sheets. Get a piece of card and practice with those 3 individual sheets to see which you prefer to do. Right. I tend not to, I don't like journals with lots of pages in. That's just my personal preference. So any more than 2 signatures, I don't normally do. The 3 that I'm covering tomorrow is because I want to show you how to do it, but I wouldn't normally, personally, create a journal with 3 or any more than that signatures in. It just becomes too difficult. And I want an easy life. I like doing things easy. Okay, so going back to this middle bit, I want to cover that over. Oh, how many pages have you in each of these signatures? Let's do a count, because I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 if you count the envelope, 12, 13 if you count the tag, 14 if you count that bit of paper, 15, 16, 17. So I've got 17 sheets. But that again, there's no rule as to how many pages you have in your signature. There comes a point where if they start, when you're stacking them on top of each other and they start protruding at the end here, then it's way too many. I would say anywhere between, and again, it's all dependent on the paper that you use, what your journal cover's like, how many signatures you're putting in. So I would work on an average of 10 to 15 sheets of paper in each signature. But it's really difficult. There's no defining that's the number that you have. Some signatures you only have maybe 5 sheets of paper in. But again, it depends on the type of journal that you're making, and how it's all going to go together, and the papers that you're using and all the rest of it. There's so many different options. Hi there. Oh, hang on a minute. Let me do it the right way. Kathy D. I can't do it like Popo does it. But hello, Kathy. Okay, so I'll get round to this middle bit in a minute. So this middle bit, I don't want that big gap. And I know that by the time I start adding stuff in here, that gap will kind of disappear because the pages will be filling out. But I've come up with a little cunning plan. You're going to like me cunning plan. And it involves this, which again, came in the kit, but you could use your own piece of paper if you want. This is a genealogical table of the royal line from King Henry VII to Queen Elizabeth II. All right, and this was a piece that I printed out and included in the kit, and it's printed on the parchment paper. Okay, so we've got that. Slurp tea, slurp tea. I need to go and make myself a fresh brew in a minute because that's gone cold. I've also got a piece of Amazon packaging, and I've cut it so that it's slightly wider than the genealogical paper, and it's slightly longer than the genealogical paper. All right, and I've also got 2 coffee stirrer sticks. So what I'm going to do is excuse me. Yeah, you can start to breathe now, Jackie. So I'm just going to put some glue on the end here and here, and then I'm going to sit my stick on top of that and wrap it around. Come on. Wrap that around onto the stick. Oh, I haven't got it central. Hang on. Hang on. We'll get there in a minute. Because it's fiddly. Okay. And then I'm going to put some glue on that stick there. And I'm going to fold it over. You mean to tell me you're watching me, Jackie, whilst you're laid in the bath? How very rude. Okay, so I've got that stirrer stick now stuck to one edge of the paper there, okay? And I'm going to do the same at the other end. She's sunburnt, Carol. Well, serves herself right. No sympathy. God, Carol, you're mean. I wouldn't have thought that a bath would have helped anyway. I thought it would have been like just covering your skin in cream and lying in bed going, ow, ow, someone bring me a cup of tea because I can't move, ow. Full of sympathy, aren't I? Full of sympathy. Okay, I'm going to curl that over. I'm going to put some glue on there. I just got the lid in your mouth. I just layers there in it. Okay, fold it over and get that to stick down there. Now, you could, if you so wished, you could stamp on here and make it all pretty and decorative. Okay, you could stamp on that side if you want and make it all pretty and decorative. I'm not going to bother. Because I'm a lazy monkey. But what I'm going to do is I am going to stick that lollipop stick or that stirrer stick in that spot in there. All right. And then this will unravel. So I'm going to roll that up to encourage it to do the rolling bit. Rolling, rolling, rolling. All right. And that will sit inside of there. So I am going to stick. I have to be careful because it keeps all rolling. Okay, I'm going to put some glue on this bit. Let's get that bit stuck down. And then maybe it'll work a bit better. Just need to be careful now that that doesn't all, oops, there's my scissors on the floor, curl all round and I get glue everywhere. So I'm going to put that in there and that in there. There we go. Whew. Might need to put some clips on that to just hold it in place, because otherwise it might just end up moving about. Ooh, can I get that clip in? No. Can I get a paper clip on it? Yes. We'll just put the paper clip on there for now to just hold that in place a little bit. And then, got more fingers and thumbs. You could distress all the edges of your paper. You know, run your scissors along it or one of those Tim Holtz paper doodads and ink it up, rip some corners, make it look old. And then, as I say, I'm just going to glue the top edge in there. I'm just going to put some glue across the top. You could stick the whole thing down if you wanted to. Make sure I've got that in square-ish. That in there. Right. And then I'm going to roll it up. Thank you, Cathy. That's very kind of you. Okay, keep rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Just keep right on rolling, right. Yeah. Okay, still rolling. Still rolling. Nearly there, nearly there. Nearly there. There we go. Now, there is a slight flaw in this cunning plan. Because I haven't quite figured out yet how that's going to stay there. And I don't want it too bulky. But it's a bit of an idea, eh? I might have to put some ribbon there and there. And, or some thread or something. Maybe I should have put the thread on before I stuck that first stick down. Oh, why didn't I think of that beforehand? I should have put some thread or ribbon down before I stuck that first stick in place, and then I'd have a bit of ribbon coming out here and a bit of ribbon coming out there, and then I could have tied it up. I might have to rip that out in a bit. But you get the idea, don't you? But I thought that just helps to cover over that little spacette there. Okay, the flat stick's fine. It's just I've used quite a long piece. It maybe needs slightly smaller. Am I turning that the right way? Am I doing that up or? Yeah, I'm doing it up. Maybe a slightly smaller piece. Yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do. I'll do it later on though, Elizabeth. I'll take that off and put some thread underneath. Okay, so for now, to just hold that in place, I'm just going to paper clip that page together to prevent it from spiraling out of control. Okay, but it kind of just fills that space up a little bit. Yeah, so that's that. That was one little idea that I'd got. There's another idea for it, but I'll cover that tomorrow. Okay, end papers. So I've got a space up this part of the spine here and this part of the page here. So this was the paper that I was going to use, and I've got several choices. One is to just cut that to size and stick it on that front piece there. All right. The second way, let me just see if I've cut that. Oh, I've cut one of them down to size, I think. Let me just check. No, I didn't. Right, so let's cut one and then I can show it to you better. So what size do I want it? Here's my rule again. There it is. So height-wise, because I've kept the original end paper in, I want it just fractionally bigger than that. Whoop. So that measures 7 3/4 inches. So I want it fractionally over. So a 1/16 of an inch less than 8 inches. That's my book anyway. A 1/16 of an inch, Carol. Okay, so there's my 8 inches. And I want it 1/16 of an inch less. About there. Well, I haven't got much to cut off, have I? Right, let me just check that. Yeah, I just want a mere smidge. Don't you just hate it when you've got a smidge? Okay. Mere smidge there. Look, a mere smidge. Now, I wouldn't put my end papers in at this point because I need to figure out what I need to do to the front cover that might actually need to come through to the back side. All right. So if you're putting a hitch post on, the screw would need to go on for the hitch post. If you're using brads, you might need to push brads through, and then the brads would be on this side. So you need to sort of do that bit first before you put the end paper on. But I just want to show you a couple of options. So as I say, spin that around, I want it that way. One is to just cut off a piece that will just go purely on that front section, this section here. Or I could put that in there. If I fold it in half, so hang on, it's been a bit cumbersome. I fold this in half. So I could stick this onto there and leave this as an extra piece. Okay. Personally, at the moment, that doesn't look very neat because you've still got the gap between this end paper and the first signature. Now, if you'd got several signatures in here, this signature would be right up next to where this fold line is. And what you would then do is, let's just say that that's a little bit nearer, is you would then put a little line of glue along that folded edge and adhere it to the first page of your signature, so that you've got those two are then joined together, but right down in that crease down there. Okay, so that's another way of adding an end paper on. But in this instance, I think what I'm going to do, because there's too big a gap between where this fold bit is and where the signature starts, I'm just going to add a single piece on that inside. But I'm going to do the same on the back cover as well, the inside back cover. But I'm not going to add those on until I've decorated the front cover and I know exactly how I want things to be on here, and then I can then add this over the top of anything that is then protruding through to the inside cover. Okay, has anybody got any questions about what I've done in that part? Oh, you've all got quiet now. Oh, you're all, because since I've sung Rawhide, you're all singing now, all talking about films now. Will a hitch post hold that sort of book? Yes, it will. But you need to bear in mind, looking at that, it's a little bit sort of springy, and I haven't added any pockets or tags or journaling cards, so this is actually going to end up being quite bulky. So by a wide alligator mouth. So by the time I've done that, I probably wouldn't use a hitch post, but if it was going to be like that, then yes, I would. Kim's put, I have a question about sewing the signatures. Okay, Kim, fire away. Better than singing the Wombling song. I'm just waiting for Kim to type up a question. You knotted yours in the middle. I knotted mine on the spine. Does that matter? Well, if you've knotted it on the spine, then it means that you started from this end. So you started on the outside and worked your way in. And no, that's fine, so long as you know that that is going to be visible. With having it on the inside, I'm going to cover this over with fabric. If you've knotted it on the outside, it's going to be difficult to hide your stitches because that knot is going to be bulky. So that's why sometimes you're better off starting in the middle of the signature rather than on the outside of the spine. Does that answer your question? But no, it doesn't matter if you want. If you don't mind having the threads on the outside, and as I say, it depends on what type of journal you're making. As I say, in this instance, I'm going to be covering this over with some fabric. What paper is the lace? Coffee dyed paper, printed on placed. Just ordinary paper. I use two types of paper when I'm printing. One is just ordinary copy paper, and then the other paper that I use, hang on, let me get the packaging. It's in my Amazon shop. Where did I put it? Because I've tidied up. Put it right there. Hang on. Bear with. Oh God, my bum's gone numb. Oh, it's there. I'll just get the packaging and show you. So this is what I call my posh paper. So I use the Navigator in the orange pack, and it's 120 GSM. So this is what I call my posh paper. So when I'm printing digital kits, I'll print it on this paper. But as I say, it is in my Amazon shop. It averages between £4 and £4.40 for a pack of is it 250 sheets? Yeah, 250 sheets of paper. And Kimmy's asking a question. I've answered a question, I think, Jackie. So yeah, I print my digital kits on this, but I sometimes print onto just ordinary copy paper. Again, depends what I'm using it for and how it's going to be utilised as to what paper I print on. But yeah, so that's in my Amazon shop. And you can also get it at Tesco's if you live in the UK. They sell it in Tesco's as well. Okay. Now then, the cover. I just want to talk to you through the cover that I'm going to put on. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it off camera because I think I've been here long enough. So if you at Wilko, yeah, I forgot they sell it at Wilko as well. If you've watched any of the Tuesday night techniques videos, you will have seen that I demonstrated about the crackle paint and mediums and how I went about doing it with PVA glue. So this one was actually created with crackle, actual crackle medium that is created to help you create this effect, and this was one that was done with PVA glue. Right, so I'm going to cut these down to size and stick them on the front cover, and they're going to fit in round about where this gold line is here. I'm not putting them right the way to the edge. I'm cutting them so that they fit in that space. Before I do that though, I'm going to cut this fabric and I'm going to stick it on the spine. Right, so let me just cut that down and see if we can do a pretend look. Right, so that's going to sit on there, like so. All right, and then that will then sit on top with, and it'll have a little bit of the red showing round there, and round there. All right. Then again, if you watch one of the other videos about the Royal Journal, I showed how I covered a piece of board with the fabric and put felt underneath it, and you could have it slightly raised and all the rest of it. That is going to then sit on top of there. Then in the kit, I gave you 3 part laminated pictures of Lizzie in 3 different sizes. So I'm going to cut out the middle one, might trim it down a little bit, and that will sit on the front here. So you've got to use your imagination a little bit. This was the trim that was in the kit as well, and that will be right on the edge where the board is and where the fabric is. That will sit right on the edge there. Okay, are you getting a bit of an idea now? And then I also included some pearly beads, and the pearly beads I could fit around the 3 sides around here. I don't think there's enough to go around all 4 sides, but you can then add some flowers on this bottom bit where there isn't any pearly trim. So if I just show you with the pearly trim, again, you need to use your imagination a bit. So that will be round like that. Oh, come on. That's it. Now, I might decide not to put the pearly trim on because it might be too much with the braid on it. But the other thing that you could do is, let's take that off. If you got some cord, and I would sew the cord on, I wouldn't glue it on because you could get the cord on the fabric. So I could put some cord around it, and I would start in the center at the bottom, put my cord around, and then glue it back here at the bottom. And again, I would probably put a selection of little flowers down here as well. So that is what's going to be on my front cover. I might put some brads through this board in the 4 corners, but the brads will only go through just this board. It won't need to go through this board and through the front cover to the inside. So I'm probably going to be able to just stick my end paper straight into this because I don't think I'm going to have anything protruding through. Now I've also got to think about what I'm going to use as a closure, because that could also affect things as well. So I might decide to add some seam binding which will wrap right the way around the journal, which means then that it will need to be put in position so that this will then sit on top of the seam binding. Again, using your imagination. So the seam binding would come like that, and then that would be glued down on top of it. So then I could use that as the closure, and then it would wrap right the way around the back and come out the other side. So then you've got that to tie up. You could, once you've got your end papers in, you could punch a hole through there and put, some of you call it a grommet, we call it an eyelet. Put a metal eyelet in there and attach your seam binding on the metal eyelet. All right, this is where you need to think about your options of what you've already got in your stash. The other thing that you could do, as I said, there's lots of options, and that's the only thing about teaching journals is there's so many options. You know, you can't cover them all when you're teaching, but you could put a bulldog clip on there. You could put a bulldog clip on the other end, and you could have a chain between the two or a piece of jewelry. All right, and then that would be the closure, and then you would just unhook that one. It would still be attached to this one with the chain, and then you just get into your journal, but that tends to get a little bit in the way. All right, so there's all sorts of different ways of sort of doing it. but you need to sort of just stop and have a little bit of a think at this point about how you're going to do your front cover, what your closure is going to be, and then think about putting your end papers on in the inside. Okay, but today's Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway was about putting the signatures in. All right, so you don't have to be massively precise and measuring it all out if you don't want to, but just take your time. All right, I'm going to leave it there, but I just want to ask if anyone has got any suggestions, any questions before I go. I'm going to finish this cover tonight, stroke tomorrow morning, so you will see it tomorrow night, and then tomorrow night I'll do the hidden spine with 3 signatures. Okay, and again, I've got another suggestion of what you can put in the middle, in between each of the signatures. Hi there, Brenda. I'm late. We'll have to watch the replay. Jill Ritchie. Don't leave us, Carol. Well, I'm hungry and I want to go and get myself a ham sandwich. Oh, dear. So, yeah. So this might be a video that you might want to watch again and write yourself some notes. Get yourself a journal if you haven't got one already made. Get one made to write your notes in. Okay? And I'll meet you same time, same place tomorrow evening. If you are a member of a group, you might want to share this. Okay, I'll come to Trudine's question in a minute. I didn't see the question, but I'll come to it in a minute. For those who you think it might help, so yeah, please share with friends, family, relatives, your auntie, your uncle, Uncle Tom Cobley and all. What was Trudine's question, Maureen? Because I can't see it at the moment. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Kim. Thank you. Is that Sharida? Sharida? I hope I'm saying that correctly for you. Thank you, Elizabeth. See you tomorrow. Nikki the black dog. I'm just waiting to see if Maureen puts up the question from Trudine, because I didn't see it earlier. Stumpy's off to go and dye some paper. Have fun. About sticking a flat ribbon under the cover. Yeah, like I've just said, you can put seam binding under there, you can put cording under there, put whatever you want under to act as your closure. Use whatever you so wish. I will be late again, Carol. Do you need a letter? Yeah, from your grandparents to explain why you're late. Yeah, you're very welcome, Margaret. But you sharing my videos really helps me out a lot, and I really appreciate it if you would do that. So thank you for those that have already done that. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much to my mods for looking after you all and keeping you all well entertained, I am sure. And I'll see you all again tomorrow night, and we'll do it all over again. Yay. Okay, guys, I'm off. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye for now. Bye. Draw. Love you. Bye. Love you.